Hey guys, tonight we begin with something slightly less mathematical, but arguably more useful if you ever find yourself without electricity, running water, or an understanding of modern plumbing, medieval survival techniques. Before you settle in, I invite you to show your appreciation by liking the video and subscribing only if my work resonates. As with you, I'd love to hear from you in the comments about where you're joining us from and what time it is in your corner of the world. It's always intriguing to discover the diverse souls gathering from every corner of the globe, perhaps while stockpiling their cherished beans. Now, let us lower the lights, perhaps activate a fan to create a gentle background hum, and prepare to embark on tonight's adventure together. In the medieval realm, fire was not merely a convenience, it was a vital force, a flickering beacon of survival and warmth amidst the shadows of uncertainty. It was all that one could ever hope for. Amidst the tempest, warmth envelops you as the flames dance and flicker, casting a gentle glow. The aroma of cooking fills the air, a comforting reminder of sustenance. This flickering light stands as your guardian, shielding you from the howling winds outside, and in this solitude, it becomes your steadfast companion through the long, stormy nights in the thatched haven. So when you departed from your abode, you didn't gather mere snacks, you gathered flames of passion. Behold the portable fire bundle, a relic of the medieval era, akin to a Zippo ladder of its time. Imagine a ladder that moved at a leisurely pace, carried the scent of sheep, and had the potential to set your entire cart ablaze if not treated with care. Let me share with you how it unfolded. Imagine carefully selecting a glowing ember from your home hearth, usually a piece of charcoal, and tenderly wrapping it in dried moss, fungus, or pungwood. This precious bundle is often nestled within a hollowed-out horn or a fireproof leather pouch. Ready for the journey ahead. At times, it found itself enveloped in linen, steeped in saltpeter or animal fat, allowing for a prolonged, gentle smolder. The ember would smolder for hours, sometimes even an entire day, waiting patiently to be revived with a gentle breath and a touch of encouragement, reminiscent of the way one's self-esteem might flicker back to life after facing the scrutiny of a peasant tax audit. The entire package was feather-light, sustainable, and essential. It spared you the torment of desperately trying to coax sparks from flint and steel. For a grueling half-hour, all while feigning confidence in your abilities, the art of fire-making danced on the edge of unpredictability, particularly when the tinder succumbed to dampness or when one's hands transformed into pitiful, frozen claws. To carry fire was to step into a clearing, construct a shelter, unveil your moss-wrapped treasure, and with a gentle breath and a whisper to Saint Smokey of the Ember, summon flames for soup, warmth, or the enchanting dance of shadows on the canvas of night. Imagine the scene. You could easily pass one to a neighbor as they head to the market, sharing the flame, for no one wanted to be the one left asking for fire as the sun dipped below the horizon. Socially awkward and sometimes greeted with, "You should have packed your moss, Gerald." Gaze upon a prepper pantry, and you'll find a veritable showcase of vacuum-sealed dreams and aspiration. Each jar and bag telling a tale of foresight and preparation. Jerky, beans, enigmatic cans from 2011, and a stockpile of freeze-dried stroganoff, sufficient to endure a minor apocalypse, all while still finding something to grumble about. But those who lived in the medieval times, they kept their meat using time-honored methods, infusing it with smoke and salt, all while facing the looming dread of an empty pantry as February approached. In today's world, many envision the art of smoking meat as a ritual involving a grill, a cold beer, and perhaps a sprinkle of barbecue fantasies. Yet, during the Middle Ages, smoke served a purpose beyond mere flavor. It was a matter of existence, and not merely a wisp of smoke. This was a cunning, stealthy haze, veiled whispers of smoke. In countless homes, particularly those charming cottages with their welcoming open hearths, meat wasn't showcased triumphantly above the flames as one might envision in a fantastical tale. It was suspended behind the flames, nestled high among the rafters, safely beyond the grasp of animals, children, and that one neighbor who always seemed to appear at mealtime. What lies in the shadows of the flames? For it was there that the cool smoke meandered, languid and unwavering, ascending through the dwelling and enveloping any hapless chicken or pig part you had managed to procure. As the days turned into weeks and the weeks into months, the smoke worked its magic, drying the meat, vanquishing bacteria, warding off pesky insects, and ensuring that your ham outlasted even the most fleeting of New Year's hopes. This was a different kind of smoke, far from the sweet embrace of applewood barbecue. The air was heavy with the scent of pine and despair, a thick, acrid haze that carried a story all its own. As time passed, the meat transformed, becoming tough and dark, standing resilient against decay, pests, and the occasional surprise visit from family. Even more intriguing, concealed meat that was smoked at a leisurely pace became more elusive and challenging to pilfer. In a village where the absence of your sausage hanging there can serve as a legal defense, every detail takes on a life of its own. And let us not overlook the dual advantage dot as the meat gently smoked, the warmth enveloped the house, keeping it cozy and free from pesky intruders. Nothing evokes the warmth of a medieval evening quite like the sight of a smoldering ham, casting its glow in a room thick with smoke and the promise of stories yet to unfold. In today's world, those who prepare for the unexpected are drawn to the allure of perimeter defenses, motion sensors, tripwires, camera drones, and that one enthusiastic individual who swears his dog can detect looters from afar. Yet, in the medieval era, people had their own unique methods of safeguarding their possessions, and these didn't rely on batteries, barking, or Wi-Fi. It was known as a living fence. Indeed, it was precisely as it appears. Picture a scene where you must find a way to corral your cows while keeping the neighbor's children at bay, all without the aid of wood, nails, or raised voices. The answer lies within. Expand your canvas. Once upon a time, in the realm of nature's artistry, living fences, known to some as hedgerows, emerged from the earth. These enchanting barriers were crafted by weaving together the slender, flexible branches of fast-growing trees such as willow, hawthorn, hazel, and blackthorn. Standing side by side in harmonious unity as they flourished, you nurtured them with care, guiding their ascent rather than allowing them to sprout wildly like ambitious weeds. Indeed, you twisted, intertwined, and crafted the branches into a formidable, fierce hedge that could thwart a pig, redirect a goose, and certainly spoil a thief's night. It was not merely effective, it possessed a certain elegance, sharp and fierce, teetering on the edge of violence. Some hedges were carefully laid, their trunks partially cut and gently bent to the side, fostering new growth while they remained vibrant and alive. Among them were prickly plants that served as guardians against intruders, alongside a complimentary berry sauce, provided you possessed the hands of a masochist. And behold, the wonder of it all. As time passed, the living fences flourished and became ever more resilient, in contrast to wooden fences that succumbed to rot, crumble, and beckon every carpenter for a quote. Hedgerows grew ever thicker, denser, and more formidable with each passing year. In the heart of the medieval landscape, farmers were not merely erecting walls. They were crafting strongholds of resilience and determination. They took on various roles as well. In their embrace, birds found sanctuary, pollinators danced with delight, and earth stood firm against the whispers of erosion. In essence, they were the ingenious contraptions of the medieval era, akin to multi-tools, but with the added intrigue of thorns, buzzing bees, and the whimsical surprise of a hidden ferret lurking within. They possessed a captivating beauty. In the heart of England, some hedgerows stand as ancient witnesses, over 700 years old, having weathered the storms of wars, the reigns of kings, and the tumultuous tides of Brexit. Upon hearing the term clay battery, one might envision monks adorned in pointed hats conjuring static electricity to zap frogs, or perhaps medieval peasants stumbling upon the invention of the Tesla. By sheer happenstance. Yet, this particular battery was not about electricity at all. It was intricately linked to the art of temperature regulation, a concept that predated thermostats, mini fridges, and even the term climate anxiety. Clay reveals itself to be more than mere material for pots, dubious sculptures, and the playful hands of preschoolers. In the medieval world, there existed a quiet brilliance in the concept of thermal mass, a term that elegantly describes its ability to retain heat or cold, much like a tenacious grandmother clings to her grudges. Let us unravel the tale. In the heart of medieval dwellings, one would find homes crafted with care, where food storage pits were ingeniously designed. These pits, lined with clay, served as guardians of temperature, ensuring that provisions remained fresh and sustenance was preserved through the changing seasons. During the summer months, clay served as a natural keeper of coolness, preserving food better than the warm air that enveloped it. During the winter months, it held onto warmth more effectively than many other construction materials. This wasn't a tale of the fantastical. It was merely the art of physics intertwined with the earth's embrace. In days of old, folks would keep their milk, butter, or hearty stews nestled within unglazed clay pots, lovingly soaked in cool water. As the water danced away from the porous surface, it whispered a cool embrace to the contents within, reminiscent of a medieval refrigerator, more economical, serene, and far less prone to imparting a hint of freon to your leftovers. In the depths of cellars or beneath shaded pits, some would carefully enter the clay pots, allowing the earth's unwavering underground warmth to cradle their provisions, food, drinks, and on occasion, the cherished emergency apple pie crafted by Grandma herself. They could be warmed by the fire's embrace, gently releasing their comforting heat throughout the night. In the days of yore, clay bricks found their resting places in beds, snugly tucked under cloaks, or even swathed in wool as they journeyed on wagons, an earthy version of the hot water bottle we know today. And in contrast to contemporary batteries, these never met with an explosive fate. At their lowest, they simply shattered and surrendered in silence. Should you have ever found yourself in a moment of frustration, cursing at a pan because your eggs chose to bond with it for eternity, you may find a certain appreciation for Teflon. In a time long past, during the Middle Ages, when the world was untouched by the wonders of non-stick coatings and the allure of late-night infomercials, people turned to a method that was both straightforward and at times painfully effective: friction glaze. Indeed, in the medieval times, individuals took the time to hand-polish their cookware, crafting a smooth, semi-resistant surface that aided in minimizing food from sticking. It was an enchantment, nor was it flawless, yet it functioned remarkably, particularly if your hopes had already been dashed by years of cabbage-related letdowns. Let me share with you how it unfolded in the realm of pottery. Particularly when it comes to cookware, the materials often consisted of coarse clay, a substance that could be likened to the roughness of sandpaper in its non-stick qualities. Yet, through the gentle caress of smooth stones, bone tools, or resilient wood against the still damp pots, they worked their magic, compressing the surface, aligning the particles, and sealing the pores with care. This careful refinement brought forth a delicate luster, often referred to as a burnished glaze. Picture a scene where an individual dedicates an entire afternoon to tenderly coaxing a soup pot, as if it were a long-lost friend in need of reassurance. That is the enchanting friction glaze. So, did this put an end to everything sticking together? Absolutely not. This was not a miracle. In a time of medieval ingenuity, a remarkable advancement emerged, one that lessened the cling of food, transforming the chore of cleaning into a simpler task and ensuring that stews remained delightfully unscathed by crusty remnants. In a time long past, some artisans would lovingly coat their gleaming pots with a delicate layer of animal fat, then subject them to the fire's embrace, sealing the surface in a ritual akin to a prehistoric seasoning dance. The enhancement also ensured that the pots endured through time, granting them greater resilience against water and the threat of cracking. And for added flair, the polished pots had a more appealing appearance. In an era where the world was often cloaked in shades of gray, with wooden structures and fading life, a gleaming cooking pot stood out as the dazzling centerpiece of the medieval kitchen. Indeed, the journey was one of toil and dedication, likely leaving many artisans with lasting burdens upon their shoulders. Yet it signified the line between functional cookware and a container that transformed porridge into a solid mass. Contemporary survivalists may invest a small fortune in titanium cookware or the newest anti-stick wonders that promise to revolutionize their culinary experiences. But those inhabitants of the medieval era, they settled in, took hold of a stone, and continued to rub it until the pot yielded to their will. Basic, perhaps impactful, without a doubt. In a time long past, before the advent of GPS, Google Maps, and that one friend who insists he knows a shortcut but truly does not, individuals relied on their keen sense of hearing to find their way, particularly when enveloped in the thick embrace of fog or woodlands. Those enchanting medieval mornings when the mist hung heavy in the air, obscuring even the sight of your own cartwheel. Step into the enchanted realm of sound navigation, where echoes guide the way and whispers of the past illuminate the path ahead. Not a superhuman ability, nor the echolocation of a bat, but the art of survival through attentive listening. Indeed, we often overlook the remarkable contributions of those who came before us. These were individuals who could recognize their village by the distinctive chime of a church bell, and gauge their level of disorientation by the chorus of barking dogs around them. Imagine you find yourself journeying on foot, without a compass, or any guiding landmarks. You find yourself enveloped in a thick fog, trudging through mud, all the while haunted by the nagging feeling that you might be treading the same path over and over again. You would listen intently to the sounds around you, the church bells ringing, the gentle clanging of cowbells, and even the carefully positioned clappers or gongs resonating in specific areas. In many towns, the church bells would toll not merely to signal the time for Mass, but to serve as guiding sounds, echoing through the streets like auditory beacons. A sound pierced the fog, a reminder that the world of humanity still thrived beyond the haze. In a distant place, herds were frequently adorned with cowbells or sheep bells, not merely to locate them when they strayed off to indulge in their playful antics, but also to guide you back home by the sound, provided you didn't mistakenly follow the wrong herd and find yourself in Gerald's pasture once more. In the heart of forests and along winding passes, one might discover wind chimes dancing in the breeze, pots clanging softly, or drums resonating from the trees, all serving as gentle guides along the trails. A clatter on the wind signaled that you were on the right path, or at the very least, following in the footsteps of someone who had ventured this way and perhaps lived to tell the tale. In the days of old, fishermen relied on the haunting calls of horns and the whispers of echoes to guide them to the welcoming embrace of harbor entrances. Adventurers would raise their voices, clap their hands, or strike sticks together to measure the distances by the returning echoes. Basic sonar without the diving gear. Even the taverns played their part. Numerous souls were accompanied by musicians, or boisterous chatter that flowed into the streets, a vibrant signal of ill-fueled camaraderie. Follow the sweet strains of the lute, and you shall discover warmth, a hearty meal, and perhaps your cousin, in a state of repose, sprawled beneath a bench. Imagine yourself in the Middle Ages, striving to preserve your teeth from the inevitable decay that could claim them far too soon. Your trusted ally in this quest was none other than charcoal, neither toothpaste nor floss, just remnants of what once was. In the days of yore, the folk of the medieval era were not graced with the wonders of Colgate. They possessed charwood, finely ground into powder and blended with salt, dried herbs, or crushed shells. This mixture was applied directly to the teeth using fingers, sticks, or for those with a flair for style, a rag elegantly tied around a twig. This rustic concoction emerged as a tooth scrub, capable of polishing enamel, banishing food remnants, and perhaps, with a touch of divine favor, postponing the inevitable decline of one's teeth until the 40s. Now, was it enjoyable? Not in the slightest. Rubbing gritty ash against your skin evokes a sensation that mirrors its sound, akin to the experience of chewing sand while gathered around a bonfire. Yet, it was a far more favorable outcome than the other option, which would allow plaque to revel unchecked until your gums rose up in a fierce rebellion. Charcoal possessed gentle antibacterial qualities, aiding in the battle against unpleasant breath. In a way, yes, in the realm of medieval times, having a fresh breath was akin to a noble gift, allowing one to converse within a mere 3 feet of another without invoking tears of discomfort. Some recipes incorporated mint, rosemary, or sage, not for their actual benefits, but to create a facade of cleanliness. Some folks were firm believers in vinegar rinses afterward, which probably negated any benefits the charcoal provided, while also introducing a delightful enamel-dissolving twist. In the realm of dental work, there came a moment when all went awry, where pliers became the instruments of fate. Strong arms wielded them with determination, and the comforting veil of anesthesia was nowhere to be found. Indeed, the idea of applying ashes to your molars suddenly appeared to be a rather appealing option. In the present day, charcoal has re-emerged, finding its place in trendy toothpaste and luxurious spa treatments. However, it's important to note that the people of the medieval era didn't adopt it for the sake of fashion. They chose this path, for the alternative was to endure the hands of a man named Bartholomew, a peculiar fellow who not only extracted teeth, but also honed blades with a certain flair. In truth, contemporary dwellings are often a patchwork of drywall, concrete, and flimsy IKEA furnishings that seem to buckle at the mere thought of a misplaced lien. Yet, the medieval peasants crafted their abodes from sticks, mud, straw, and an unwavering spirit of hope. What is the approach? It was known as wattle and daub, a name that evokes the charm of a whimsical folk band. Yet it served as the essential foundation of daily life's architecture. Let me share with you how it unfolded. To begin, one must gather wattle, a delightful term for the artful weaving of branches, twigs, or long, pliable sticks. Imagine a craft that stretches higher, chills the air around it, and carries a greater risk of toppling onto your unsuspecting goat. These wattle panels were then secured between wooden posts, forming what resembled the framework of a rather perplexed fence. Next arrived the daub, a delightful blend crafted by hand from mud, straw, clay, and animal dung. Indeed, dung in the days of yore, one might wonder, if it didn't contain at least a hint of dung, were you truly putting in the effort? With a touch of creativity, this charming paste was lovingly applied to the wattle, where it would dry and transform into a surprisingly robust, insulated barrier. It warded off the wind, embraced warmth, and exuded a rustic aroma that whispered, "Home sweet slightly composting home." It certainly lacked any sense of glamour. Every now and then, your walls may show signs of wear, flaking or cracking, and perhaps even drawing the attention of some inquisitive chickens. Fixing them up became a regular part of your weekly routine, nestled snugly between the tasks of ensuring you don't go hungry and giving a good shout to the neighbor's goat. Yet, it was affordable, efficient, and most importantly, sourced from the local community. No shipping fees, no carbon footprint, only the raw essence of the earth, the toil of hands, and perhaps a whisper of hardship, though it may seem rudimentary. The technique of wattle and daub has the remarkable ability to endure for decades, even centuries, when cared for properly. Some medieval homes still standing today boast their original wattle walls, a testament to the craftsmanship of a peasant in 1350 who clearly outperformed your last contractor. Imagine a medieval night where a creaky straw mattress holds the weight of unspoken sorrows, a thatched roof weeps with an unknown substance, and the ever-present menace of fleas, lice, and creatures that buzz, bite, or scuttle with an unsettling assurance lingers in the air. Behold the unexpectedly refined remedy, herb-laced bedding, a charming fusion of soothing scents and pest deterrents. This creation emerged not from a desire for luxury, but from the practical need of medieval peasants to avoid becoming a feast for unwelcome critters. As they slumbered, but consider this, filling your mattress with nothing but ordinary straw invites all manner of unwelcome guests, the kind that itch and twitch and feast upon your very essence. In a clever twist, households infuse their spaces with a fragrant embrace of herbs such as lavender, mint, wormwood, pennyroyal, and rosemary. Not for indulgence, but for protection. These herbs served as nature's ancient defense against pesky insects. Their potent aromas kept at bay the pesky fleas, lice, and mosquitoes, and on occasion, even your partner. There were tales of certain herbs, such as tansy and rue, said to possess the power to ward off demons. Fortuitously, they also managed to keep the inquisitive in-laws at bay. The outcome? A bed that exuded an oddly delightful aroma reminiscent of a fresh salad, managing to keep the pesky crawlies at bay, if only for a handful of nights. Following that, it became essential to renew the herbs, lest you find yourself jolted awake by a tick harboring some serious anger issues. The tale extended beyond just mattresses. Herbs danced across the floors, entwined in the door frames, and swayed in fragrant bunches above the beds. In essence, if there was an opportunity to infuse it with a sprig of wormwood, one would seize that chance without hesitation. It transformed residences into somewhat eerie sanctuaries of potions and remedies, yet more pristine, secure, and fragrant than the neighboring goat barn. In a time long past, when bug nets and DEET were mere dreams, this was nothing short of genius. Comprehensive guides were crafted detailing the most effective herbs. Whispers of belief floated through the air, suggesting that dreams took on a sweeter essence when one nestled into the embrace of lavender's gentle scent. The realm of science, uncertain, yet, if it allowed you to overlook the dripping ceiling and the reality that your pillow was merely a sack of oats, then truly it deserves a blessing. In a time long past, when the gentle hum of refrigerators was but a distant dream and light of freezer drawers were yet to be imagined, the people of the medieval era relied on their ingenuity to preserve their food, ensuring it didn't devolve into curious experiments of decay. Step into the wonder of quiet conservation. Behold the stone cooling shelves, those marvelous slab shelves, larders, or, to put it plainly, the chilly rock upon which we place our cheese. Let me share with you how it unfolded. In the cool embrace of shaded walls, thick slabs of stone, whether humble slate or elegant marble for those with a taste for the finer things, were carefully placed, especially on the north-facing side, where the sun seldom graced its warmth. These stone shelves embraced the naturally cooler temperatures of the earth and the surrounding air, crafting an ambient cold zone, a medieval rendition of a mini fridge, albeit with less noise and a few more spiders lurking about. During the chillier months, they preserved milk, butter, meats, and whatever remnants they had, ensuring nothing spoiled too swiftly. Even in warmer weather, the stone held onto its coolness, remaining a refreshing contrast to the air around it. This is simply the nature of rock, indifferent to the heat of the outside world. Without cords or motors, and free from the judgment of a light bulb at 2 a.m., there exists only stone, shade, and the pure essence of hope. In certain homes, one could find entire stone pantries or cold rooms, their thick walls and earthen floors whispering tales of preservation and sustenance. In the days of yore, these structures served as the forerunners to what we now know as root cellars, strategically placed far from the cooking fire. They were a testament to the medieval folks' culinary wisdom. While they relished a steaming bowl of soup, they were keenly aware that the warmth should not encroach upon their precious butter reserves. In the grander homes, one might find these shelves adorned with damp cloths or porous jars brimming with water, their contents slowly vanishing into the air, creating a refreshing coolness of brilliant application of science, all without ever needing to speak the term evaporative. In humble abodes, the milk was simply placed on the cool stone, with a silent wish that it would remain fresh until the midday meal. In today's world, when you find yourself with a twisted ankle or a bee sting, you instinctively grab an ice pack, some painkillers, or perhaps a gel that claims to provide soothing relief, only to leave you with a hint of disappointment. Yet, in the midst of the Middle Ages, when the art of healing sometimes meant leeches or incantations murmured over a goat horn, the people found a more approachable and less daunting alternative. Once upon a time, there were vibrant cabbage leaves, each one a tale waiting to unfold. Indeed, cabbage, once upon a time, a modest vegetable, now infamous for spoiling school lunches and infusing boiled dishes with an aroma of despair, held a prominent place in the realm of medieval first aid. Cabbage leaf dressing served a multitude of purposes, addressing ailments ranging from swelling and bruises to mastitis, joint pain, and even the enigmatic rashes that seemed to lurk in the shadows of the plague. What's the reasoning behind it? Uncomplicated. Behold the cabbage, a marvel of nature, cool to the touch, adaptable in its form, and possessing a hint of antimicrobial magic. It arrives as a natural compress, elegantly encased in its own leafy attire, ready to soothe and heal. Imagine selecting a large, ideally chilled cabbage leaf, gently crushing it to let its juices flow, and then tenderly wrapping it around the wounded spot, often fastening it with a piece of linen or perhaps a sprinkle of hope. Yet, when faced with the dilemma of munching on bark bread or transforming into bark yourself, you opted for the comforting embrace of carbs. There were those who took to toasting or roasting the bark before grinding it, infusing it with a smoky essence, or perhaps merely diverting attention from the peculiar reality of consuming tree. And it was not solely for the common folk. In times of siege and the biting cold of winter, whole communities turned to the humble bark for sustenance, navigating the delicate balance of harvesting cambium from their shared forests. Excessive gathering of bark led to the demise of the tree. The villagers took matters into their own hands, for it was simply not sufficient. In the event that the world meets its end and you find yourself amidst the trees, with naught to eat in view, remain calm, seek out a birch, embrace the spirit of the humble, and keep in mind that morsel is indeed yours to savor. In the realm nestled between the Tigris and Euphrates, beauty unfolded as a cherished ritual each day. In the ancient lands of Mesopotamia, personal grooming transcended mere necessity. It became a sacred ritual, steeped in tradition and meaning. To them, the presence of cleanliness and embellishment spoke volumes of their civility, their standing with the divine, and their political stature. You weren't merely donning a mask for the world. You were readying yourself for a gaze from the heavens. Let us begin our journey with the eyes. Thick black eyeliner didn't originate in Cleopatra's boudoir. It was flourishing centuries before in summer, with skillful hands. Both men and women crafted striking lines from coal, a finely ground mixture of lead, copper ore, and antimony, though it may send shivers down the spines of contemporary dermatologists. They held a firm belief that it served as a shield against malevolent spirits, and on a more practical note, against the relentless glare of the desert sun. Their skincare routine would leave contemporary trends in awe. Finely ground semi-precious stones were blended into oils, creating a magical concoction that exfoliates and illuminates the skin. The rich, mineral-laden mud from the river banks was lovingly applied to the skin in generous, soothing layers. Once it had dried, it was delicately scraped away, revealing skin that was smooth and radiant. Indeed, the earliest clay masks were not about indulgence, but rather a fascinating blend of ancient knowledge and experimentation. The journey of hair removal unfolded as yet another challenge. With sharpened seashells or primitive tweezers in hand, they meticulously plucked, scraped, or burned away unwanted body hair. Elegance was intertwined with sophistication and divinity. The more refined your visage, the nearer you approach the essence of celestial beauty. Even the statues of their deities and priestesses stand hairless and impeccably styled, boasting symmetrical features and wide, painted eyes that seem to gaze into the soul. And let us not overlook the fragrance. Fragrant oils held a charm that was not merely delightful. They possessed an undeniable strength. Animal fats were lovingly infused with myrrh, frankincense, and cedar, transforming them into fragrant balms that graced the skin like enchanting perfumes in the hearts of the people. These fragrances were thought to cleanse the spirit and bring joy to the divine. In the grand halls of royalty, where elegance reigned supreme, perfume oils held such worth that they were presented as tokens of reverence. What about those eyebrows, marked with ink? The origins of permanent cosmetics trace back far beyond the 20th century. They had already honed their skills within the sacred halls of temples. Women adorned their brows with soot or natural dyes, crafting striking arches that dramatically framed their faces. It was a captivating elegance intertwined with unwavering dedication. If you believe the beauty trends of today are quite the spectacle, allow me to take you back to the time of Cleopatra. Indeed, the queen of eyeliner embodied much more than mere allure. She embodied the ideal of Greco-Roman beauty, captivating all who beheld her. Her visage adorned coins, yet her impact extended to every apothecary and boudoir from Alexandria to Rome, and she was not solitary in this endeavor. Roman women embraced Egypt's penchant for opulence and then took it to extraordinary heights. Let us embark on a journey with the legendary milk bath. It was said that Cleopatra indulged in daily baths of donkey milk, a luxurious ritual that added to her legendary allure. Be it 500 donkeys or merely a whisper of a tale, the essence remains this. In the realm of skincare, lactic acid, a treasure hidden within sour milk, serves as a gentle exfoliant, revealing the beauty beneath the surface. The Romans embraced this with great enthusiasm. In a world where elegance reigned supreme, women of distinction indulged in luxurious baths of milk, honey, and rose petals, convinced that these divine concoctions would erase the marks of time and illuminate their beauty. Indeed, it succeeded, though not in a way that benefits your finances. And now, we turn our attention to the visage. In ancient Rome, women aspired to possess skin as pale as the moonlight, a testament to their affluence and ability to shun the sun's embrace. Behold Sarosa, a face powder crafted from white lead, dangerously toxic. Yet it bestowed the impeccable matte finish. Women embraced this ritual each day, generously applying it to their cheeks and forehead, creating a canvas of beauty. As time passed, it led to painful sores, the loss of hair, and in certain instances, it even claimed lives. Yet, appearing like a divine being, it is all worthwhile. In the ancient world, vibrant hues of rouge and lip stain were crafted from the earth's treasures: red ochre, the delicate remnants of crushed beetles, or the rich essence of mulberry juice. The brighter your lips and cheeks, the more enchanting and youthful you seemed. For the art of defining the eyes and brows, a blend of soot and animal fat served as the perfect medium. And if your eyebrows lack that natural boldness, fear not. Simply create them with a stroke of your pencil, or perhaps inscribe them permanently. Reminiscent of the ancient practices in Mesopotamia, hair became yet another arena of conflict. Long before your grandmother's curling iron graced the scene, Roman women wove their tresses into elaborate styles with the aid of heated metal rods. They transformed it with the magic of herbs, ash, and even fermented leeches. Yes, you heard that right, for that coveted blonde allure. In the opulent world of ancient Rome, elite women adorned themselves with wigs crafted from German slave hair, a striking symbol of their wealth and refined taste. And what of the fragrance? A realm unto its own, the Romans had an insatiable passion for fragrance. Oils, rich with the essence of saffron, cinnamon, and roses, were lovingly massaged into every contour of the body. Bathhouses exuded the fragrant essence of botanical gardens intertwined with a hint of musk. In the heart of ancient China, beauty unfolded not in flamboyance, but in the depths of thought and reflection. In the pursuit of allure, Rome sought the dazzling, while the Chinese perspective cherished equilibrium, serenity, and the essence within. Yet, one must not confuse nuance with ease. The beauty rituals of dynastic China unfolded like a captivating tale. Rich in spiritual depth and often marked by astonishing intensity, begin with the surface. In the tapestry of Chinese beauty ideals, a pale, porcelain-like complexion was cherished, not out of a fear of the sun, but as a symbol of nobility and the leisurely life of the elite. In the sweltering embrace of the sun, the resilient women of the fields toiled, their hands weaving stories of strength and endurance into the very soil they nurtured. Women of noble birth, they remained within the confines of their abode, safeguarding their delicate complexions as if they were rare and treasured manuscripts. Commonly found among the ingredients were white lead powder, ground pearl, and even powdered rice. It was more than mere makeup, it was a remedy, a healing touch. In the realm of ancient wisdom, numerous concoctions were crafted by the learned healers of the court, each one steeped in the belief that they could enhance the vital energy or extend the journey of life itself. And what of the teeth? Once upon a time, before the advent of plastic toothbrushes, there were neem sticks and charcoal, nature's own tools for keeping smiles bright and clean. Even the practice of dental hygiene became a sacred ritual, intricately woven with the cycles of the moon and harmonized with the balance of dashic energies. Among the most distinctive was mehendi, henna, once a cherished adornment for hands and feet. Particularly during weddings, henna served a purpose beyond mere beauty. It brought a soothing touch to the body, eased the burdens of stress, and symbolized joy, fertility, and the journey of transformation. Each twist in the design whispered a tale. The ancient Greeks held a deep reverence for beauty, yet it was not in the ostentatious, ornate manner of the empires that followed to them. Beauty held a sense of virtue. The embodiment of flawless form mirrored a noble spirit. A sculpted body or symmetrical face was not merely appealing. It symbolized a deeper essence of inner harmony, intelligence, and a touch of divine grace. In classical Greece, it was almost a matter of honor that grooming took on the weight of a civic duty. Let us embark on a journey that starts with the skin. Much like the Romans, the Greeks held a deep admiration for those with fair skin. A pale visage signified ease and aristocracy. A sun-kissed visage spoke of toil beneath the open sky, a mark of those bound to labor and the humble folk of the land. In pursuit of this ethereal vision, Greek women turned to powders crafted from white lead, chalk, or finely crushed seashells. These powders made their presence known. Indeed, there were women who applied their makeup with such abundance that it would fissure at the corners of their smiles. But you see, the essence of beauty often lies in the depths of sacrifice. Crimson hues danced upon lips and cheeks, born from the essence of mulberries, the richness of red iron oxide, or the remnants of wine's embrace. The deeper the crimson, the more alluring the appearance, yet the application needed to be light. Excessive makeup was looked down upon. A gentle blush signified vitality and virtue. Overwhelming, that was linked to courtesans, known as hetairs, who artfully adorned themselves with rich rouge and intricate cosmetics to captivate philosophers and statesmen alike. Hair care was a deliberate choice, woven into the fabric of daily life. In ancient Greece, women cherished their long, flowing locks, often weaving them into intricate braids, elegant buns, or artful knots, secured with exquisite pins crafted from ivory or bronze. In their quest for brighter locks, they would gently massage in a blend of vinegar and lemon juice, occasionally incorporating ashes into the mix. Golden locks, in particular, were celebrated as something heavenly and exotic. Envision the legendary figure of Helen of Troy. Among the elite, it was not unusual to find wigs and hairpieces crafted from the hair of enslaved northern women. Eyebrows held the essence. A single, continuous brow, indeed, a unibrow, symbolized purity and intelligence. Women who lacked natural beauty would resort to using powdered antimony or soot to create the illusion they desired. Some even affixed goat hair between their brows, all for that gentle, intellectual appearance. With meticulous attention, the perfumes were crafted, olive oil serving as the foundation, harmoniously combined with fragrant herbs such as marjoram, thyme, and the delicate iris root. After the ritual of bathing, which the Greeks indulged in with great fervor, often within the lively atmosphere of public baths, these were applied. Purity stood as a divine principle, in the most literal sense. In the vibrant jungles and towering highlands of Mesoamerica, beauty roared with intensity, bold and unapologetic. In the realms of the Aztec and Mayan civilizations, beauty emerged as a striking emblem, a tangible mark of identity, strength, and a revered obligation. The perfect form was shaped, molded, and at times endured through hardship, all in devotion to the divine and the expectations of society. Let us embark on a journey into the realm of the most profound and cerebral transformation. In the ancient cultures of the Mayans and Aztecs, the practice of shaping a baby's skull was regarded as a form of enhancement, a testament to their unique beliefs and customs. From the earliest days of life, wooden boards were tenderly yet resolutely affixed to a child's head, guiding the skull into a graceful, slope form reminiscent of a cone. It embodied the essence of grace, wisdom, and allure. A forehead that is longer and smoother signifies a greater social standing. Now, let us journey into the realm of dental decoration. Cast aside those whitening strips. In the ancient world of the Mayans, the elites adorned their smiles with exquisite treasures, embedding jade, turquoise, and even the shimmering allure of hematite into their very teeth. Delicate holes were meticulously carved using obsidian instruments, while exquisite gems were affixed with the finest natural resins. The glimmer in their smiles, exact, the threshold for enduring discomfort, cosmic. Teeth that were filed into sharp points or symmetrical designs became a trend, echoing the fierce qualities of animals and hinting at a bond with the divine, embodying strength and power. In the tapestry of daily existence and sacred ceremonies, skin and face painting wove vibrant threads of meaning and expression. In the vibrant world of the Aztecs, women adorned their cheeks with striking hues of red and yellow, while both men and women embraced the deep, bold strokes of black paint during sacred ceremonies. The hues were not mere happenstance, they carried significance. Red symbolized the vibrancy of life and the promise of fertility, while black frequently represented the weight of war or the depth of devotion. Some paints were crafted from crushed insects, such as cochineal, resulting in a vivid crimson hue that captivates the eye. Body art and adornments were sacred vows. In the realm of body adornment, ear, nose, and lip piercings flourished, frequently embellished with exquisite jade or intricately carved bone jewelry. Tattoos, crafted from thorns and ink, revealed the tapestry of one's family lineage, the sacred duties they held, or the valorous accolades earned on the battlefield. These accessories were not mere embellishments. They were bold affirmations of devotion to deities such as Quetzalcoatl or Ixchel. In the eyes of the Maya, even the unique charm of crossed eyes held a certain allure. Mothers dangled beads before their infants, guiding their gaze inward until their eyes danced out of alignment. This was not regarded as a flaw, or rather as a glimpse into the realm of the extraordinary. In the sweeping expanse of ancient Africa, the beauty unfolded in myriad forms, reflecting the rich tapestry of its landscapes, from the verdant banks of the Nile to the sweeping savannas of Nubia and the bustling trade cities of West Africa. Beauty rituals emerged as both practical necessities and deep symbols of culture and identity. Adornment transcended mere style. It became a profound declaration of one's identity, social standing, and even a connection to the cosmos. Once upon a time in ancient Egypt, beauty was revered as an art form, meticulously crafted and celebrated. Both men and women adorned their eyes with kohl, not merely to enhance their allure, but to shield themselves from harm. The dark hue, crafted from galena or lead sulfate, diminished the harshness of sunlight and offered protection against infections. The dramatic lines stretched beyond the eyelids, crafting the iconic almond-eyed allure reminiscent of ancient Egyptian artistry. Eyes were not merely reflections of the soul, they were revered instruments, pathways to the divine. Fragrance was both an indulgence and an essential part of life. In ancient Egypt, the passion for fragrance was so profound that they crafted exquisite perfume cones, wax creations infused with myrrh, cinnamon, and lotus oil worn atop the head during sacred ceremonies. As the cone succumbed to the warmth, it exuded a delightful aroma, enveloping the hair and skin in its sweet embrace. Each day, the ritual of cleanliness unfolded with fragrant oils, following a soothing bath, lovingly dispensed from exquisite stone or alabaster jars, each a masterpiece in its own right. The essence of skincare intertwined the pursuit of beauty with the necessity of thriving in our changing climate. In the age-old tradition of nurturing the skin, palm oil, shea butter, and castor oil emerged as guardians against the relentless sun and the parching winds of dryness. These oils were not merely for moisturizing, they held the power of healing within them. Blended with nature's bounty, they mended wounds, calmed rashes, and maintained the skin's radiant allure. Long before the invention of loofahs, people crafted body scrubs from sand or crushed seeds, ensuring their skin remained exfoliated and pristine. In Nubia, Hairstyles wove the very fabric of identity. Intricate braids and carefully shaped designs wove narratives of lineage, maturity, and union. Locks were frequently adorned with the rich hues of henna, embellished with beads, shells, and glimmering threads of gold. A majestic coif, reaching for the heavens, transcended mere fashion. It embodied a sense of royalty. In the distant lands of the ancient Yoruba and Songhai, the art of body painting with indigo and ochre pigments wove itself into the fabric of rituals and celebrations, each stroke telling a story of culture and tradition. Tribal markings, whether scarified or painted, were celebrated not as blemishes, but as enhancements of beauty and symbols of strength and heritage. Beauty has eternally sought a price, whether it be time, effort, or money, yet, in the realms of antiquity, it can exact a toll on your well-being, your reason, and perhaps even your very existence. Throughout the ages, the quest for flawlessness has frequently ventured into perilous realms. Though these rituals were revered and even celebrated, they occasionally etched wounds that ran far deeper than the surface. The chilling ingredients have already been revealed to us. Once upon a time, in the world of beauty, there existed a curious concoction of lead, arsenic, mercury, and crushed insects, all woven into the fabric of makeup and skin care. These substances shared a common thread, their toxicity dot in the grand tapestry of history, the lead face powders that grace the beauty rituals of Rome, Greece, and the opulent courts of Renaissance Europe wove a dark tale. These alluring substances, while sought after for their aesthetic appeal, harbored sinister consequences, leading to hair loss, muscle paralysis, and a gradual decline of vital organs. And yet, the lighter your complexion, the greater your allure. It was a sweet veneer concealing the bitter truth. In the distant past of ancient China, the women of the elite class embarked on a journey from a tender age, binding their feet in the quest for the coveted lotus foot, a symbol of grace and unwavering obedience. In the tapestry of history, while foot binding flourished in later dynasties, whispers of earlier practices echo through time, hinting at a complex narrative that predates its prominence. The outcome was a lasting transformation of form, yet what was seen as cruelty was, in truth, perceived as beauty. Let us remember the ceremonial journey of tattoos, piercings, and body modifications, where each mark tells a tale of transformation and resilience. Among the Maya and Aztecs, the practice of embedding jade in one's teeth or altering the shape of the skull was regarded as a prestigious symbol, yet this pursuit of beauty came with significant dangers, including the threat of infection, intense pain, and lasting harm. In the rich tapestry of ancient African and Middle Eastern cultures, scarification emerged as a powerful symbol of strength and beauty. This practice involved the meticulous cutting of intricate patterns into the skin, often carried out without the aid of antiseptics, showcasing the resilience and artistry of those who embraced it. Even fragrances can hold perilous secrets. In the land of Egypt, the enchanting perfume cones were crafted with a blend of ingredients, including the alluring cinnamon oil, a substance that, when concentrated, could scorch the skin. In an era where water for bathing was a rare indulgence, the use of thick oils became a double-edged sword, ensnaring dirt and bacteria and paving the way for infections to take hold. Beauty products and procedures lacked regulation and uniformity. What one individual cherished as a beauty secret, another found to be a gradual unraveling. In the tapestry of tradition, where rituals wove their way through generations, the whispers of the past often dance with inaccuracies as prevalent as the allure of self-importance. Across the tapestry of cultures, the quest for beauty has always mirrored the values of its era: power, divinity, nobility, and virtue. Yet it comes with a price. It was frequently settled in quietude. Underneath layers of powders, perfumes, and intricate hairstyles lay the scars concealed from the world. In a time long past, before monopoly cast its shadow over family gatherings, the ancient inhabitants of Mesopotamia were captivated by the allure of board games, with a particular fondness for one known as the Royal Game of Ur. In the 1920s, the remarkable British archaeologist Sir Leonard Woolley unearthed a treasure within the Royal Cemetery of Ur, a game that whispers tales from over 4,500 years ago. Yet, it was far more than a mere pastime hidden in a forgotten nook. It held a profound significance, rich in meaning, perhaps even transcending the earthly realm. Behold the game's board, a true work of art. A compact rectangular box adorned with 20 exquisite squares crafted from lapis lazuli, shell, and red limestone, all elegantly set in bitumen. A vision and object that transcends the realm of mere playthings. resembling instead a sacred relic of celestial origin, with a roll of the tetrahedral dice. Shaped like four-sided pyramids, players embarked on a thrilling race across the board, each move bringing them closer to the finish line. What is the aim? Be the first to guide all 7 of your pieces to safety, outmaneuvering your opponent along the way. It appears quite straightforward. Yet, as you delve deeper, the layers unfold, revealing a rich tapestry beneath the surface. Some scholars suggest that the layout symbolizes a spiritual journey, serving as a metaphor for the soul's advancement through the realms of fate and chaos. The central squares were regarded as realms of peril or enchantment, sites of fortune, safeguarding, or celestial decree. In this perspective, triumph was not merely a matter of chance. It was a journey through the vastness of the universe, skillfully weaving through the intricate designs of fate. And as fate would have it, the deities played their part in this tale. In the annals of time, clay tablets from later epochs reveal the fascinating ways in which individuals embrace the game as a tool for divination. In a world where fate intertwines with chance, the scribes would cast their dice, seeking the whispers of destiny within the tumbling bones. Each throw became a sacred omen, a glimpse into the unseen. As they wove the game into a tapestry of prophecy, envision it as a mystical blend of age-old tarot and the strategic dance of competitive backgammon. The royal game of Ur found its way beyond the confines of temples and palaces. Echoes of this tale have reached as far as India and Egypt, hinting at its journey along ancient trade routes and enchanting diverse cultures along the way. Long before the likes of chess or checkers graced the tables, there existed a game that transcended borders, marking its place as perhaps the first truly international board game. For the ancient Sumerians, engaging in the royal game of Ur transcended the simple act of passing time. It was a journey of facing destiny, challenging the whims of the divine, and perhaps catching a glimpse of the unseen tapestry that weaves the cosmos together. It was a game, indeed, yet it transcended mere play. It was a ritual, a race against time, and a rehearsal for the infinite. Senet was more than merely a board game. It served as a gateway to realms beyond this existence. Dating back to 3100 BCE, Senet finds its place in tomb paintings, funerary texts, and even graces the laps of pharaohs such as Tutankhamun. To the ancient Egyptians, Senet was a profound experience, transcending mere entertainment. It was a sacred reenactment of the soul's odyssey through the shadowy realms, where each step on the board resonated with the whispers of time everlasting. Picture a Senet board, a captivating creation of 30 squares, elegantly laid out in 3 rows of 10. Each square holds the promise of a tale waiting to unfold. In this game, each participant possessed either 5 or 7 pieces, embarking on a journey across the board, with the ultimate goal of guiding them safely off the final square. The unexpected turn. Movement unfolded through the ancient practice of casting sticks or bones, serving as primitive dice in a game of chance. Yet, mere fortune would not secure your victory. Crafting a plan and choosing the right moment were crucial. What started as a simple hobby gradually took on a deeper significance. By the time of the New Kingdom, around 1550 BCE, Senet had transformed into a captivating pursuit that transcended mere entertainment within the home. It had transformed into a profound representation of the soul's journey through the duat, the mystical realm of the Egyptian underworld. Specific squares on the board emerged as symbols of pivotal moments along that path. From the ashes of rebirth, the scales of judgment weigh heavy as shadows of peril loom, leading to a journey of purification. Every twist in the game unfolded like a fateful chapter. It was a calling of celestial intent. The imagery surrounding Senet grew ever more enchanting and mysterious. Upon certain boards, one could find intricate hieroglyphs, each symbol a guardian spirit or a powerful incantation, weaving tales of protection and mystique. Square 26, for instance, frequently represented the dwelling of renewal, whereas Square 27 could embody the abode of joy. Arriving at that place might signify a blessing from above, whereas other locations hinted at postponement or potential peril. The board transformed into a miniature realm of the afterlife, a mystical journey crafted from cedar and paint, filled with challenges and wonders. Senet wove its essence into the fabric of the goddess Ma'at, who personified truth, justice, and the harmonious balance of the cosmos. Mastering the game of Senet served as a profound preparation for the challenges that awaited in the afterlife, where one's soul would be measured against the feather of Ma'at. Conquer the game, and you may just unlock the secret to eternal life. Forfeit. One might wish for a few extra amulets tucked away in that tomb of yours, just in case. While Senet may appear to be an ancient counterpart to backgammon, its significance runs much deeper. A blend of play, philosophy, and a manual for the realms beyond. In Egypt, Senet was not merely a game, it was a sacred ritual woven into the fabric of devotion. To those who lack the insight, knuckle bones may appear as mere child's play, a collection of oddly shaped fragments scattered in there. Yet, in the days of ancient Greece, it transcended mere leisure. It unfolded as a captivating blend of talent, fortune, allure, and perhaps a touch of celestial meaning. In the vibrant heart of Athenian marketplaces and the serene embrace of temple courtyards, the sound of knuckle bones danced upon stone floors, weaving together threads of laughter, rivalry, and sacred tradition. In the beginning, the game came to life with the use of small ankle bones from sheep or goats, known as astragaloi, in contrast to the dice we know today. These ancient four-sided bones danced in a chaotic manner, ensuring that every throw was a delightful surprise. With a flick of the wrist, players sent them soaring into the sky, eager to catch them gracefully on the back of their hand or to land them just so, aiming for that sweet spot to rack up points. Though the guidelines shifted with time and place, the excitement remained a constant thread woven through the fabric of experience. It wasn't merely children who engaged in play to capture the hearts of adults, especially women. In the world of ancient Greece, one can find exquisite vases and sculptures depicting young girls, draped in elegant robes, deeply engrossed in the game of knuckle bones, their expressions a captivating blend of focus and joy. For many, it unfolded as a dance of grace and skill, a blend of timeless plaything and communal tradition. Indeed, there were moments when it served as a charming display of affection, where a fluid toss could capture the attention of a wondering admirer. Yet, beneath the surface, there lay a profound essence. In ancient times, the astragaloi danced through the threads of fate, weaving tales of the divine and the mortal realm. Every facet of the bone bore a name and a numerical value, rendering them perfect for the realms of gaming and divination. A well-placed throw could be seen as an omen from the divine, a whisper from the likes of Apollo or Hermes guiding the way forward. What if you cast for the same side into the fray? That was the legendary Venus throw, a victory so flawless it was whispered to be graced by celestial blessing. The game wove a rich tapestry of themes surrounding death and the afterlife. In the realm of the afterlife, knuckle bones found their way into graves, serving as playful tokens or instruments for seeking knowledge beyond the veil. Whispers of belief danced in the air, as some felt that ethereal beings could weave their essence through them, or that they served as a bridge for the departed to glimpse what lay ahead. In time, the game transformed into something new. In ancient times, the Greeks embarked on a fascinating journey of crafting knuckle bones from materials such as bronze, glass, and ivory. Yet, the essence of its allure persisted. It unfolded with simplicity, yet the path to mastery was fraught with challenges, wrapped in an air of enigma. In Greece, knuckle bones transcended mere play. In that moment, there was a delightful dance of flirtation, a twist of fate, and a sprinkle of fun, all captured in a single toss. If chess is a battlefield on a board, then Ludus Latrunculorum was Rome's bold proclamation of conflict. In the days of ancient Rome, there existed a game known as Latrum Culi, or the game of little soldiers, which transcended mere leisure in the villa courtyard. It was a clash of minds, a cerebral dance preparing for the challenges of the world beyond. To master the game was to strategize like a commander. Though the precise rules of Ludus Latrunculorum have faded into the mist of time, the remnants, wooden boards, clay pieces, and literary allusions offer us tantalizing glimpses into its intriguing world. Set upon a grid, typically 8 by 8 or 9 by 10 squares, each participant commanded a legion of small, uniformed figures known as latrons or mercenaries. What is the aim? Outsmart your rival and seize their pieces by encircling them with strategy. No chance, no fortune, just cleverness. The thrill lay in its understated nuances. This was not a competition of speed like or Senet. It was a carefully crafted endeavor, requiring keen insight and a dance of minds. Warriors would lure, deceive, and ensnare, much like in the grand tales of military conquests. Roman writers such as Varro and Ovid speak of it as a beloved pastime among both soldiers and statesmen. Some viewed it as a measure of one's true essence, while others simply relished the opportunity to bring their friends low before an audience. Fascinatingly, the game extended beyond the confines of the elite, across the vast expanse of the Roman Empire. From the misty shores of Britain to the sun-kissed sands of Egypt, one can discover the remnants of La Trunculi boards etched into stones, floors, and even rooftops whispering tales of the past. Brave warriors engaged in this pastime while guarding the distant borders. Traders wove it into the fabric of their dealings. It soared above the boundaries of class and culture, providing a gateway to escape and a means of strategic mastery. The elements themselves were diverse: humble pebbles, intricately carved ivory tokens, or shimmering glass counters. Some boards showcased unique squares, perhaps fortresses or thrones, where pivotal captures could unfold. In the annals of history, scholars engage in spirited discussions about the existence of a singular king piece in certain iterations of the game. Yet, one truth remains clear: the game favored cunning strategy and sharp intellect over mere physical might. Roman poets frequently employed the game as a vivid metaphor. To lose a piece was akin to falling out of grace, ensnared in a web of intrigue, reminiscent of a treacherous betrayal. It was whispered that even the gods engaged in their own renditions, hinting that the art of strategy transcended humanity and touched the divine. Though Ludus Latrunculorum has faded into the annals of history, its essence endures in contemporary games such as chess and checkers. In the heart of Rome, a fierce contest unfolded where triumph transcended mere boasting. Becoming a testament to wit and wisdom, it signified a triumph of intellect. In the time before Senate held its esteemed place in ancient Egypt, there existed Mayan, an enigmatic board game shaped like a spiral, named in honor of a serpent god who watched over the players. Mayan transcended mere gameplay. It was an enigma entwined with legends, tactics, and ritual. Though the precise rules have faded into the mists of history, the remnants of boards and game pieces hint at a deeper significance. Mayan transcended mere entertainment, embodying the dance of cosmic symbolism. The board was truly captivating. A serpent, coiled and segmented, wins its way inward, each rectangular space drawing closer to its head. In the ancient tales, the serpent Mayan was revered as the guardian of the sun god Ra, accompanying him on his perilous journey through the shadowy realms of the underworld each night. In essence, each game unfolded as a grand saga, with players charting their course through the twists of peril, metamorphosis, and renewal. Among the treasures unearthed with the Mayan boards, one can find charming little tokens shaped like lions and smooth, round marbles or spheres, each telling a tale of their own. It is thought that each player guided a collection of marbles that journeyed through the serpent's form, perhaps accompanied or menaced by the figures of lions. The lions could have taken on roles as protectors, barriers, or even fierce challengers. Though the precise mechanics of movement remain a mystery, it probably entailed the use of dice or casting sticks. Much like other games from ancient Egypt, the allure of Mayan lies in its swift vanishing act. In the days of the Old Kingdom, roughly between 2600 and 2300 BCE, a remarkable presence flourished, only to mysteriously fade from the annals of history and the remnants of the earth by the time the Middle Kingdom emerged. What is the reason? Behind this, only whispers linger in the air, secrets untold. Some suggest that its ties to religion lost their appeal, while others think it was merely eclipsed by the increasing significance of Senate and burial customs. In the end, Mayan transformed into a relic of the past, bequeathing to us only the exquisite serpent-shaped boards and the quiet, majestic lion-headed pieces. The allure of its existence beyond the borders of Egypt is just as captivating. In the annals of history, we discover that akin spiral boards have emerged in Cyprus and the Levant, hinting at a journey of the game, or perhaps its captivating imagery, traversing through the pathways of trade or the tides of conquest. Did it hold on to its deeper significance in distant realms, or was it divested of legend and transformed into a conundrum? The evidence remains elusive, yet the enigma only deepens Mahan's captivating charm. Ultimately, Mayan transcended mere leisure. It became a journey along the sacred backbone of a serpent, embodying themes of guardianship, peril, and the timeless dance of existence and oblivion. To engage was to step into a whirlwind, where every action resonated with legend. In a time long past, before the Vikings etched their tales into sagas or shaped runestones, they engaged in Tafel, a collection of asymmetric board games that reflected the harsh realities of their lives, filled with raids, sieges, and the struggle for survival. From the icy longhouses of Norway to the bustling trading ports of Ireland, Tafel games wove their way through the Norse realm, honing intellects alongside the edge of blades. These were not mere amusements. Tafel was a battleground, refined into a dance of strategy. cunning, and measured gambles. Among the many tales told, the one that stands out is that of Hannah Faithful. Known as the King's Table, this game unfolds on a square grid, its dimensions often ranging from 11 by 11 to 13 by 13, inviting players into its strategic embrace. The game's hallmark lies in its asymmetry. A lone player takes the helm of a king, flanked by a steadfast band of defenders, all positioned at the heart of the board. One commands a vast legion of assailants at the periphery. What is the king's ambition? Venture into a hidden nook of the square. What was the aim of the assailant? Ensnare the king by encircling him from every direction. In this realm, chance holds no sway. It is the sharpness of the mind, the intricacies of strategy, and the strength of calculated moves that reign supreme. And much like the fierce Viking raids of old, the scales are tipped in favor of the unexpected. The attackers, a relentless tide, outnumber the defenders to 2-1, compelling the king's player to embody the essence of a desperate leader, skillfully evading, redirecting, and outsmarting the relentless foe. Once upon a time, taffel boards emerged from the hands of skilled artisans, crafted from the finest wood, antler, or even stone. Each piece bore intricate grid patterns, accompanied by stylized playing pieces that told tales of strategy and competition. More affluent fighters could possess creations crafted from glass or bone, adorned with figures resembling valiant warriors, regal kings, or majestic dragons. The boards were lightweight, effortlessly transported on longships, and the rules, while varying by region, resonated with the common pulse. Strife died transcended mere entertainment. Taffel honed the minds of Vikings, preparing them for the art of leadership and the cunning strategies of ambush. It revealed the moments to step back, the times to give up something precious, and the art of envisioning the path that lies ahead, filled with twists and turns died in a time when alliances swayed like the tides of the fjords. The skill to foresee your adversary's moves can spell the difference between triumph and demise. Taffel was woven so deeply into the fabric of Norse culture that even Christian missionaries found ways to engage with the pagans, occasionally swapping the king piece for a bishop. Yet, as the game of chess journeyed into the lands of Scandinavia in the medieval era, taffel began to wane, regarded as a remnant of ancient deities died as the 12th century unfolded. This once vibrant pastime teetered on the brink of extinction, yet whispers of its legacy lingered on in the form of regional games such as tablet. In its heyday, taffel transcended the realm of mere board games. In a realm reminiscent of Viking clashes, the scene unfolded with an eerie calmness, a pristine landscape where the echoes of conflict were replaced by the sound of bone, rather than the cries of battle. In the majestic courts of ancient India, surrounded by elephants, fragrant incense, and the echo of sacred chants, a game unfolded, one that held the weight of destiny in its hands. Pachisi, revered as the national game of India, transcended mere entertainment. It unfolded like a grand tapestry woven with threads of fate, royalty, and the art of daring choices. With roots tracing back to at least the 6th century CE, and perhaps even earlier, Pachisi captured the hearts of emperors, notably the illustrious Akbar the Great, who immersed himself in the game, embodying its spirit. Picture a game board, grand and imposing, taking the form of a colossal cross. It stands as a testament to the four cardinal directions, a powerful emblem of the intertwining paths of destiny. Every arm of the cross weaves a journey of squares, all leading to a central square, symbolizing the throne or sanctuary. In a spirited competition, players maneuver there for pieces around the board, each striving to be the first to guide them all back to the center, outpacing their rivals in this thrilling chase. The unexpected turn. The journey unfolds through the casting of 6 or 7 cowrie shells, rather than the roll of dice. The way the shells land, with their open sides facing up, guides the course of action. Thus, each twist of fate intertwines fortune, decision, and celestial caprice. Yet, Pachisi transcends mere movement. It delves into the art of capture. When you land on an opponent's piece, you cast them back to the very start of their journey. Every moment counts, every move matters, and the art of deception is paramount. In the realm of decision-making, a hasty choice may spell catastrophe, while a thoughtful approach can conquer the game. It's a delicate dance of tension, reminiscent of the strategic maneuvers on a battlefield or the intricate intrigues of royal courts. Indeed, it unfolded in the tapestry of reality. In the most precise sense, in a grand display of creativity, Akbar constructed an expansive courtyard at Fatehpur Sikri, transforming the game into a living tableau where individuals dawn vibrant, color-coded attire to embody the pieces of this strategic endeavor. He orchestrated the game from a lofty perch, guiding the human tokens with a commanding grace. It was a grand performance, a masterful display of governance and a profound exploration of the soul, all intertwined in a captivating narrative. The layers of Pachisi weave a rich tapestry of meaning. The cross-shaped board symbolizes the convergence of dharma, duty, artha, prosperity, karma, desire, and moksha, liberation. To achieve success, one must weave together not only talent, but also harmony with the greater tapestry of existence. A captivating game, much like an enchanting life, weaves together the threads of risk and restraint in a delicate dance in time. British colonists transformed Pachisi into Ludo, simplifying its rich symbolism into a form that was easier to consume. Yet, the original game stands as a timeless testament to the profound wisdom of ancient Indian thought. Pachisi transcended mere competition. It unfolded as a profound narrative of fate, endurance, and the intricate interplay of karma on a board where each roll held significance. In the heart of the Aztec world, rolling the bones transcended mere chance. It became a sacred exchange with the divine. Ptolemy, an ancient game from Mesoamerica, wove together elements of chance, sacred ceremony, and a grand narrative of the cosmos. It echoed through every nook and cranny, from the quaint corners of villages to the majestic temples of Tenochtitlan, always beneath the vigilant gaze of the deities, particularly Mictlantecuhtli, the guardian of games, dance, and indulgence. Before us lay a game board, unassuming in its design, a grid shaped like a cross, often depicted on mats, stone, or even etched into the very steps of temples. It held 52 spaces, reflecting the ancient rhythm of the Aztec calendar cycle spanning 52 years. This was no mere coincidence. In every square, the threads of time, the whims of fate, and the rhythms of cosmic cycles wove together a tapestry of existence. Players embarked on their journey with 6 beans adorned with dots, serving as their rudimentary dice. The dice were cast to unveil the number of spaces a player's token could traverse. In this game, each participant possessed a collection of markers, be it stones, bones, or intricately carved figurines that they skillfully navigated across the board, striving to complete a circuit ahead of their rival. Yet, Ptolemy transcended mere competition. It was a clash of wills. When you land on an opponent's piece, you have the power to send it back to the beginning of its journey, or even banish it from the game entirely. Yet peril had a way of circling back. Some squares held the weight of misfortune, where a fateful landing would cost one their hard-earned progress or possessions, indeed, items of value. For Ptolemy was not merely a game of pride, it unfolded as an extravagant spectacle of chance and fortune. Participants wagered a myriad of items, ranging from sustenance and warm coverings to precious gold dust, exquisite jade, and even human lives. High-stakes games can become quite thrilling. As the crowd assembled, their voices rose in a chorus of cheers and jeers, while priests took their places, guardians of fairness and the sacred, ensuring that the matches unfolded with both integrity and reverence. Before the grand spectacle of major games, players would humbly present their offerings to Mictlantecuhtli, seeking a touch of luck or a whisper of forgiveness should fortune turn against them. Engaging in Ptolemy was to gamble not just riches, but the very favor of the divine. Upon their arrival, the Spanish were met with a scene that filled them with dread. They viewed Ptolemy as an entrance to immorality and idolatry. In a time when the thrill of chance was deemed forbidden, the tables were shattered and the games erased from existence. Yet the game remained etched in the mind, shared in whispers, or transformed into safer versions over time. What set Ptolemy apart was not merely its mechanics, but the enchanting blend of chance, strategy, and the cosmos that it wove together. The board unfolded like a tiny cosmos. With each throw, destiny danced, and every game reflected the timeless struggle between harmony and disorder, existence and absence. In today's world, games have evolved into a form of leisure, a way to relax, engage in friendly competition, or simply pass the time. In times long past, the games held a reverence that transcended mere entertainment. They served not merely as entertainment. They reflected the vastness of the universe, acted as arenas for future leaders, and provided a stage for the cycles of life, destiny, and renewal throughout the ages. Spanning from the ancient lands of Mesopotamia to the vibrant cultures of Mesoamerica, what we often perceive as mere play was, in truth, a sacred ritual cloaked in the guise of leisure. Consider, if you will, the games of Senet and Ptolemy. These activities transcended mere leisure. They were steeped in profound spiritual significance, frequently performed within the sacred spaces of temples, tombs, and during ceremonial rites. In the tombs of Egyptian pharaohs, Senate boards lay hidden, not merely as playthings, but as sacred instruments meant to navigate the treacherous paths of the duat, the realm of the afterlife. To triumph at a Senate game was not merely to outwit your rival. It was a testament to one's spiritual preparedness for the journey beyond this life. In the realm of the Aztecs, Ptolemy unfolded beneath the watchful gaze of the divine, Maquilxachil, the deity of revelry and indulgence. Called for tributes and devotion, the throes of beings transcended mere chance. They were divine messages, whispers of favor, or warnings of retribution from the gods. To part with your belongings might be viewed as a twist of fate, a poetic balance in the grand narrative of life. Victory, a fleeting dance with the universes. Grand design, even more abstract games such as Mayan and Pachisi held deep symbolic significance. Mayan brought to life the image of the serpent god entwined around the sun god Ra, as he traversed the shadowy realms of the underworld each night. Each shift on the board told a tale of safeguarding, advancement, or danger. Pachisi, with its cross-shaped layout, held a deeper significance beyond merely reaching the center. It was a vivid tapestry of dharma, karma, and moksha, the entire spiritual cycle beautifully illustrated with cowrie shells and tokens. And the significance of games in both education and the realm of warcraft is truly profound. Games such as Ludus Latrincalorum and Tafel served a purpose beyond mere entertainment for soldiers. They were intricate simulations of strategy and tactics. Rulers, commanders, and aspiring aristocrats engaged in these games not merely for victory, but for wisdom and insight. Games sharpen the intellect, honing the ability to foresee actions, counter dangers, and harmonize boldness with cunning tactics. In the quiet shadows, they shape leaders, far removed from the clamor of the battlefield. In the grand tapestry of history, ancient games wove their way through temples, echoed in courts, and found permanence in stone, fulfilling a myriad of purposes along the way. They entertained, indeed, but they also imparted wisdom, mended hearts, discerned truths, and equipped for the journey ahead. They wove together the threads of humanity and the divine, intertwining players with destiny and linking the passage of time to the infinite. In the ancient world, when one settled into play, it wasn't an escape from life. Rather, it was a profound immersion into its very essence. Mary Wollstonecraft. On August 30th, 1797, Godwin took her first breath, carrying a weight of expectation that few experienced throughout their entire lives. She emerged into a world of tumultuous ideas and vibrant thoughts. Her parents, Mary Wollstonecraft and William Godwin, were among the most daring minds of their era. Her mother penned a vindication of the rights of woman, a passionate manifesto that boldly asserted women were rational beings deserving of education and equality. Her father was a thinker of politics and a weaver of tales, who turned away from the trappings of monarchy, the confines of organized religion, and the conventions of traditional marriage. United, they crafted a groundbreaking alliance that would leave an indelible mark on the landscape of Enlightenment England. And so it was, just 11 days after the arrival of little Mary, that her mother took her final breath. From the very start, Mary's journey was woven with threads of brilliance and shadows of loss. In a home brimming with books, vibrant ideas, and the presence of visiting radicals, she was nurtured by her father. The specter of a mother she never met lingered in the air, her voice echoing through the words crafted on the pages of her writing. Her father openly displayed these works. He urged Mary to delve into them. Her education unfolded in a most extraordinary manner. From a tender age, she immersed herself in the rich tapestry of Greek myths, the wonders of science, the beauty of poetry, the depth of philosophy, and the lessons of history, long before her peers had even grasped the art of crafting a simple paragraph. In the embrace of nature, she found her lessons unfolding. Her musings drew inspiration from the great minds of Coleridge, Rousseau, and Voltaire. Yet the atmosphere of the home was anything but serene. William Godwin found love again. But the bond between Mary and her new stepmother, Mary Jane Clairmont, was marked by tension and chill. The newlywed Mrs. Godwin had a penchant for her own offspring. Perceiving Mary as a tempestuous, rebellious spirit, burdened with an excess of fanciful thoughts, Mary, in her own way, rebelled against the domestic expectations that weighed heavily upon her. She sought refuge in the realms of writing and the vivid landscapes of her dreams. At the tender age of 10, she was already weaving her own tales with a flurry of scribbles. At the age of 14, she delved into books that would send shivers down the spines of many adults. She was not a maiden fashioned for delicate stitches and afternoon brews. She was a tempest, silently amassing her power. In the tapestry of Mary's childhood, woven with threads of political revolution, personal freedom, and feminist rebellion, a unique life began to take shape, destined to stand apart from the rest. From the shadows of mortality, she emerged, a beacon of brilliance, shaped by the flames of her trials. She was more than just the child of her parents. She was transforming into something more enigmatic and immensely potent. Mary Shelley, destined to become the pioneer of science fiction. This was no mere coincidence. In every square, the threads of time, the whims of fate, and the rhythms of cosmic cycles wove together a tapestry of existence. Players embarked on their journey with 6 beans adorned with dots, serving as their rudimentary dice. The dice were cast to unveil the number of spaces a player's token could traverse. In this game, each participant possessed a collection of markers, be it stones, bones, or intricately carved figurines that they skillfully navigated across the board, striving to complete a circuit ahead of their rival. Yet, Bertolli transcended mere competition. It was a clash of wills. When you land on an opponent's piece, you have the power to send it back to the beginning of its journey, or even banish it from the game entirely. Yet peril had a way of circling back. Some squares held the weight of misfortune, where a fateful landing would cost one their hard-earned progress or possessions, indeed, items of value. For Bertolli was not merely a game of pride, it unfolded as an extravagant spectacle of chance and fortune. Participants wagered a myriad of items, ranging from sustenance and warm coverings to precious gold dust, exquisite jade, and even human lives. High-stakes games can become quite thrilling. As the crowd assembled, their voices rose in a chorus of cheers and jeers, while priests took their places, guardians of fairness and the sacred, ensuring that the matches unfolded with both integrity and reverence. Before the grand spectacle of major games, players would humbly present their offerings to McQuilksachil, seeking a touch of luck or a whisper of forgiveness should fortune turn against them. Engaging in Bertolli was to gamble not just riches, but the very favor of the divine. Upon their arrival, the Spanish were met with a scene that filled them with dread. They viewed Bertolli as an entrance to immorality and idolatry. In a time when the thrill of chance was deemed forbidden, the tables were shattered and the games erased from existence. Yet the game remained etched in the mind, shared in whispers, or transformed into safer versions over time. What set Bertolli apart was not merely its mechanics, but the enchanting blend of chance, strategy, and the cosmos that it wove together. The board unfolded like a tiny cosmos. With each throw, destiny danced, and every game reflected the timeless struggle between harmony and disorder, existence and absence. In today's world, games have evolved into a form of leisure, a way to relax, engage in friendly competition, or simply pass the time. In times long past, the games held a reverence that transcended mere entertainment. They served not merely as entertainment, they reflected the vastness of the universe, acted as arenas for future leaders, and provided a stage for the cycles of life, destiny, and renewal throughout the ages. Spanning from the ancient lands of Mesopotamia to the vibrant cultures of Mesoamerica, what we often perceive as mere play was, in truth, a sacred ritual cloaked in the guise of leisure. Consider, if you will, the games of Senet and Bertolli. These activities transcended mere leisure. They were steeped in profound spiritual significance, frequently performed within the sacred spaces of temples, tombs, and during ceremonial rites. In the tombs of Egyptian pharaohs, Senet boards lay hidden, not merely as playthings, but as sacred instruments meant to navigate the treacherous paths of the duat, the realm of the afterlife. To triumph at a Senet game was not merely to outwit your rival. It was a testament to one's spiritual preparedness for the journey beyond this life. In the realm of the Aztecs, Bertolli unfolded beneath the watchful gaze of the divine, McQuilksachil, the deity of revelry and indulgence. Called for tributes and devotion, the throws of beans transcended mere chance. They were divine messages, whispers of favor, or warnings of retribution from the gods. To part with your belongings might be viewed as a twist of fate, a poetic balance in the grand narrative of life. Victory, a fleeting dance with the universes. Grand design. Even more abstract games, such as Mayan and Pachisi, held deep symbolic significance. Mayan brought to life the image of the serpent god entwined around the sun god Ra. as he traversed the shadowy realms of the underworld each night. Each shift on the board told a tale of safeguarding, advancement, or danger. Pachisi, with its cross-shaped layout, held a deeper significance beyond merely reaching the center. It was a vivid tapestry of dharma, karma, and moksha, the entire spiritual cycle beautifully illustrated with cowrie shells and tokens. And the significance of games in both education and the realm of warcraft is truly profound. Games such as Ludus Latrincolorum and Tafel served a purpose beyond mere entertainment for soldiers. They were intricate simulations of strategy and tactics. Rulers, commanders, and aspiring aristocrats engaged in these games not merely for victory, but for wisdom and insight. Games sharpen the intellect, honing the ability to foresee actions, counter dangers, and harmonize boldness with cunning tactics. In the quiet shadows, they shape leaders, far removed from the clamor of the battlefield. In the grand tapestry of history, ancient games wove their way through temples, echoed in courts, and found permanence in stone, fulfilling a myriad of purposes along the way. They entertained, indeed, but they also imparted wisdom, mended hearts, discerned truths, and equipped for the journey ahead. They wove together the threads of humanity and the divine, intertwining players with destiny and linking the passage of time to the infinite. In the ancient world, when one settled into play, it wasn't an escape from life. Rather, it was a profound immersion into its very essence. Mary Wollstonecraft. On August 30th, 1797, Godwin took her first breath, carrying a weight of expectation that few experienced throughout their entire lives. She emerged into a world of tumultuous ideas and vibrant thoughts. Her parents, Mary Wollstonecraft and William Godwin, were among the most daring minds of their era. Her mother penned a vindication of the rights of woman, a passionate manifesto that boldly asserted women were rational beings deserving of education and equality. Her father was a thinker of politics and a weaver of tales, who turned away from the trappings of monarchy, the confines of organized religion, and the conventions of traditional marriage. United, they crafted a groundbreaking alliance that would leave an indelible mark on the landscape of Enlightenment England. And so it was, just 11 days after the arrival of little Mary, that her mother took her final breath. From the very start, Mary's journey was woven with threads of brilliance and shadows of loss. In a home brimming with books, vibrant ideas, and the presence of visiting radicals, she was nurtured by her father. The specter of a mother she never met lingered in the air, her voice echoing through the words crafted on the pages of her writing. Her father openly displayed these works. He urged Mary to delve into them. Her education unfolded in a most extraordinary manner. From a tender age, she immersed herself in the rich tapestry of Greek myths, the wonders of science, the beauty of poetry, the depth of philosophy, and the lessons of history, long before her peers had even grasped the art of crafting a simple paragraph. In the embrace of nature, she found her lessons unfolding. Her musings drew inspiration from the great minds of Coleridge, Rousseau, and Voltaire. Yet the atmosphere of the home was anything but serene. William Godwin found love again. But the bond between Mary and her new stepmother, Mary Jane Clairmont, was marked by tension and chill. The newlywed Mrs. Godwin had a penchant for her own offspring, perceiving Mary as a tempestuous, rebellious spirit, burdened with an excess of fanciful thoughts. Mary, in her own way, rebelled against the domestic expectations that weighed heavily upon her. She sought refuge in the realms of writing and the vivid landscapes of her dreams. At the tender age of 10, she was already weaving her own tales with a flurry of scribbles. At the age of 14, she delved into books that would send shivers down the spines of many adults. She was not a maiden fashioned for delicate stitches and afternoon brews. She was a tempest, silently amassing her power. In the tapestry of Mary's childhood, woven with threads of political revolution, personal freedom, and feminist rebellion, a unique life began to take shape, destined to stand apart from the rest. From the shadows of mortality, she emerged, a beacon of brilliance, shaped by the flames of her trials. She was more than just the child of her parents. She was transforming into something more enigmatic and immensely potent. Mary Shelley, destined to become the pioneer of science fiction. Half-sister Fanny, the sorrowful end of Percy's estranged wife Harriet, and now the devastating drowning of the one she cherished most. It was a tale of Gothic horror that no fiction could ever hope to match, and through in her heart, in pieces, she had endured the heart-wrenching loss of 3 children, the tragic suicide of her at all. She found a way to persevere. Mary collected the remnants of Percy, encompassing both his physical essence and the echoes of his written words. She safeguarded his verses, his legacy, and even, it is said, held a fragment of his hardened heart delicately wrapped in silk within her writing desk. Grief transformed from a mere companion into an ever-present source of inspiration. And amid the turmoil, she continued to weave her words into existence. Her pen transformed into her very essence. She crafted Valpurga, a historical narrative, and The Last Man, a haunting glimpse into a world ravaged by plague and solitude, reflecting her own profound sense of isolation. Additionally, she took on the task of editing and publishing Percy's works. Safeguarding his legacy from being lost to time, Mary Shelley transcended tragedy. She took it all in, reshaped it, and wove it into a masterpiece. In the tapestry of her youth, love wove vibrant threads, yet now, the shadows of loss would carve her legend. By the mid-1820s, Mary Shelley found herself in a solitude that few young women of her time could fathom. By the age of 28, she had laid to rest many of those dear to her heart, her parents, her children, her half-sister, and her husband. What lingered was her pen, her son Percy Florence, and the heavy burden of legacy she had transformed from the daring youth who once escaped England in the name of love. She found herself a widow, a single mother, and a woman enveloped by shadows of the past. And yet she persevered. In a world where uncertainty loomed, Mary turned to her pen, weaving words into a lifeline that sustained her through turbulent times. Yet, the Victorian era cast a harsh shadow on women who dared to embrace life fully. She faced scrutiny not just as a woman of letters, but also as the provocative partner of a poet whose reputation stirred debate. Publishers sought to mold her into something easily digestible, something that conformed to their notions of respectability. Thus, she skillfully maneuvered through the realm of literature, harmonizing her bold history with the desire to create a secure future for her child. She penned her thoughts with unwavering dedication. Novels such as Perkin Warbeck, Loder, and Faulkner intricately intertwined themes of political exile, the absence of mothers, and the struggle of moral conflict. Though not as groundbreaking as Frankenstein, they mirrored her shifting viewpoint. Less idealistic, more rooted in reality, and profoundly reflective, she crafted biographies, travel journals, and a myriad of editorial projects, including the significant endeavor of safeguarding Percy Shelley's poetry. With the same care and passion she poured into her tales, she crafted his legacy. But Mary was more than just a guardian of memories. She stayed astutely aware, actively involved in the political landscape, and unwaveringly guarded about her personal life. She turned down several marriage proposals. She turned away from the allure of gossip and the temptation to unveil hidden truths. She wove connections with writers, philosophers, and publishers, yet her trust was a rare treasure, shared with only a select few. Her heart belonged entirely to her son, Percy Florence. She wove a tapestry of care around him, ensuring he was bestowed with the finest education, shielding him from the shadows of scandal, and gifting him the serene existence that had eluded her own grasp. In her journey, she crafted a semblance of stability that had long been just out of reach. In the twilight of her years, Mary faced the shadows of physical ailment, grappling with persistent headaches and the unwelcome grip of paralysis that claimed her right arm. Yet, she persisted in her craft, her thoughts flowing endlessly, embodying the spirit of a woman who faced sorrow head-on and conquered it with the power of her words. She emerged as the final figure, marked by sorrow yet unyielding in spirit. Her life had transformed beyond the confines of a Gothic tale. It was a testament to resilience. As Mary Shelley entered her 30s, she emerged as a subtle yet powerful presence in the literary realm, not by seeking the spotlight, but through unwavering determination. She had transcended the roles of being just Percy Shelley's widow or the offspring of renowned radicals. She was Mary Shelley, the creator of Frankenstein, a tale that, as the years passed, started to weave itself into a curious existence of its own. Initially, critics turned their backs on Frankenstein. Some regarded it as a perplexing enigma, while others believed it to be the work of her husband. Yet the public remained captivated, unable to turn their gaze. By the 1830s, the tale had already started to transform, stepping off the page and into new realms. Theater adaptations blossomed throughout Europe, with one notable example being The Popular Presumption or The Fate of Frankenstein. This rendition depicted the creature as a silent, brutish figure, a stark contrast to Mary's poignant and articulate original creation. Yet, It demonstrated the profound influence of the novel within the cultural landscape. Her monster had transcended her own realm, becoming a part of the world's tapestry. And with that transformation came something truly extraordinary. A fresh genre was starting to take shape. In a twist of fate, Frankenstein unwittingly gave life to the very essence of science fiction. In a time that predates the illustrious works of Jules Verne and H.G. Wells, Mary Shelley posed a chilling inquiry: what unfolds when humanity dares to assume the role of the divine? She wove together elements of Gothic horror and the scientific curiosity of the Enlightenment, intertwining human tragedy with flights of speculative imagination. It transcended mere horror. It served as a cautionary tale. Mary herself never asserted that she was the originator of a genre. Indeed, she seldom drew the spotlight to her own presence. Yet, experts today see her as the progenitor of science fiction, a distinction she achieved not by design, but by her groundbreaking creativity. She wove the anxieties of her time science, morality, motherhood, and death into a narrative that transcended the ages, crafting a parable that resonates through the years. In the shadows of the publishing realm, she meticulously refined Percy's creations, subtly shaping the minds of countless thinkers for years to come. Her writings delved into the realms of politics and feminism, weaving in themes of ecological disaster, existential dread, and the intricate dance of ethical boundaries. In her 1826 novel, The Last Man, she conjured a haunting world beset by plague and solitude, a foresight that would resonate deeply 100 years down the line. Despite facing illness in her later years, she remained a vibrant participant in the world, weaving her thoughts and experiences into her writing. Her legacy was unfolding, weaving its way from the lab, across the stage, through the press, and into the very essence of contemporary culture. Mary Shelley infused vitality into a concept destined for immortality, forever altering the landscape of literature. Mary Shelley's journey was intricately woven with threads of love and loss. Yet it was her identity that stood at the forefront of tapestry. She was perpetually compelled to defend, redefine, and safeguard. To be a woman penning words in the 19th century was, in itself, a bold declaration of defiance. As Mary Shelley navigated her life, she carried the weight of her lineage as the daughter of revolutionaries, the legacy of her late husband, a radical poet, and the profound responsibility of birthing a morally intricate creature, each aspect adding depth to her remarkable journey. In the wake of Percy's passing, Mary found herself in a delicate and uncertain situation. Even after adopting his surname in their union, her role as the steward of his literary legacy and the custodian of his story was not assured. His family, the esteemed Shelleys, had always looked down upon Mary. They regarded her with wary eyes, deeming her a threat, and extended to her a scant allowance, insisting she keep her distance from their matters. In the process of refining Percy's poetry and crafting his memoirs, she delicately polished his atheism and radical ideas, making certain that his creations could resonate with a broader, more traditional Victorian audience. For decades, this move has sparked lively debates among critics. Was it a cunning maneuver or a treacherous act? Maybe it was a blend of both elements. Mary grasped the intricate dance of reputation with a keen insight that few could match. As she toiled to honor Percy's memory, she simultaneously waged a battle for her own identity. Publishers sought to shroud her in silence, to render her anonymous, or at the very least, to cast her as a mere footnote to her husband's brilliance. Mary turned her back on the idea. She persisted in crafting novels under her own name, in a time when women often cloaked their identities behind male names. Mary Shelley boldly claimed her place in the light dot in a subtle dance. She wove political themes into the fabric of her fiction. In Loder and Faulkner, she delved into the intricate themes of female autonomy, the complexities of flawed fatherhood, and the societal constraints imposed on women. In The Last Man, she wove a tale of civilization's downfall and the emptiness of empire, a narrative rich with poignant insights. Mary Shelley's pen transcended mere creativity. It became a formidable instrument of expression. With a blend of imagination, personal narratives, and thoughtful curation, she crafted the legacy of a generation while laying the groundwork for contemporary literature. In the vibrant tapestry of the Victorian era, Mary Shelley stepped into her last decade, carrying with her a serene grace, even as the weight of physical decline and emotional solitude cast a long shadow over her journey. Though her intellect and literary contributions remained celebrated, the vibrant world of radicalism and romanticism was dimming. and Mary stood as one of its final living witnesses. The lively circle of her younger days, Byron, Percy, Clare, and even her father William Godwin, had faded away. The passionate blaze of the early 1800s had surrendered to the measured decorum of the Victorian era. Mary's journey led her into a realm of solitude, weighed down by the shadows of chronic illness. She endured the relentless grip of debilitating headaches, faced the challenge of partial paralysis in her arms, and confronted the shadow of what might have been a recurring brain tumor. Yet she seldom voiced her grievances. Her pain wove seamlessly into the fabric of her daily life, much like ink merging with the pages of a story. Yet her devotion to her son, Percy Florence Shelley, never wavered, as he blossomed into a caring and responsible young man. In contrast to his parents, Percy Florence led a life of convention, ultimately inheriting the baronetcy that he had denied to his father. Mary held tightly to his presence, pouring her dwindling strength into securing his triumph and shielding him from disgrace, particularly the lingering specters that haunted the Shelley legacy. Even as the vibrant chapters of her creative journey faded into the past, Mary continued to weave her craft. She wove connections with publishers, friends, and fellow thinkers through her letters. She delved into a vast array of literature. In the tapestry of existence, she wove together threads of history, science, and political theory, maintaining a vibrant intellectual engagement despite the betrayals of her own body. With a delicate touch, she meticulously refined Percy's creations, shaping his poetic legacy with care, all while navigating the more provocative pieces to maintain the goodwill of the public. Yet, the shadows lingered, refusing to fade away completely. She led a humble life, often teetering on the brink of destitution, and chose never to take another partner. For Mary, marriage was never merely a quest for security. It was a tale woven from the threads of passion and the fabric of shared ideals. There was a void left by Percy that no one else could ever hope to fill, and she was resolute in ensuring that no one would dare attempt it. In the year 1851, at the age of 53, Mary Shelley departed from this world, her passing attributed to what was likely a brain tumor in her final moments. She slipped away gently, embraced by the presence of her son and his beloved wife. Upon her passing, they discovered within her possession strands of hair from her departed children, alongside the whispered fragment of Percy Shelley's heart, delicately enfolded in silk. Even in death, Mary Shelley continued to weave the threads of memory, a woman forged in the fires of loss, uplifted by brilliance, and compelled to weave her tale through every darkness. Mary Shelley departed from this world in 1851, yet her voice continues to resonate through the ages. In the years that came after, her creation, particularly Frankenstein, blossomed into something far greater than she ever envisioned. What started as a haunting tale spun by a young wanderer transformed into one of the most impactful novels in the annals of human history. Mary Shelley was a figure who lingered in the minds of many. She rose from the ashes, time and time again died in the beginning. Her renown whispered softly in the shadows. Throughout her life, she received acclaim primarily for her unwavering devotion to Percy and her role in shaping his poetic works. Though her fiction garnered respect, it frequently faced dismissal or misunderstanding. Frankenstein lingered in the shadows, categorized as a mere curiosity within the realm of Gothic horror, while its profound themes remained overlooked by a society unprepared to grapple with the intricate dance of science, morality, and humanity's place in the cosmos. Yet, as the days unfolded, her brilliance came to light. As the 20th century unfolded, the creature born from Mary's imagination emerged as a symbol woven into the fabric of culture. Film adaptations, starting from the silent era and reaching a crescendo with Universal's 1931 Frankenstein featuring Boris Karloff, breathed new life into her creation, quite literally transforming its visage. The creature emerged as a poignant emblem of contemporary unease, a sorrowful entity shaped by human hubris and shunned by the world around it. Every adaptation mirrored the anxieties of its era. In the midst of conflict, innovation, and the formidable forces of nature, one can always trace the essence of a visionary mind, echoing through the ages. Scholars started to explore her work from fresh perspectives. Feminist critics celebrated her not merely as the spouse of a poet, but as a creator of literature in her own right. They delved into her reflections on the journey of motherhood, the depths of grief, the act of creation, and the essence of power. The Last Man, once cast aside, has emerged from the shadows to be recognized as a pioneering work of dystopian brilliance. Her existence, defined by defiance, wisdom, and resilience, unfolded in a manner as captivating as the tale she wove. Today, Mary Shelley is not merely recalled, she is celebrated with great admiration. She is known as the matriarch of science fiction, the sovereign of Gothic literature, a trailblazer who intertwined the intimate with the profound. Her influence endures in the halls of learning, the realms of research, the art of cinema, and the conversations of governance. In moments when we ponder the essence of humanity or the consequences of creation surpassing our moral compass, we find ourselves immersed in her narrative. She presented us with a creature of nightmares, yet, in her actions, she breathed life into the unheard, the abandoned thoughts, and the inquisitive spirits shunned for their relentless curiosity. Mary Shelley crafted more than a mere novel. She transformed the very essence of literature itself.